Hi, Julia. A long day here at the Hennepin County Government Center. We just got out of court a few minutes ago as the judge decided on a few last-minute details before trial begins here Monday. Here are a few highlights. One, prosecutors will not be able to bring up the Minneapolis Police Department's body camera policy at the time of the shooting, which gave officers discretion over whether to turn their cameras on. Officer Noor did not have his camera on at the time of the shooting. The prosecution said that, paired with the policy, gives insight into his state of mind at the time. However, Judge Catherine Quaitons called bringing up the policy distracting. She did say, however, that prosecutors can press officers who testify on when they might turn their cameras on. The judge also mentioned she has not made a decision yet about whether to sequester the jury. She says she wants to wait to see how jury selection goes before deciding that. And when those jurors are picked, their identities will be protected and sealed until the trial is over, maybe even longer. The judge said that is to protect them from media scrutiny. She's even going as far as not allowing the courtroom sketch artist to draw them. And the reason this hearing took so long today was the cross-examination of expert witnesses. The defense wants to bring in a use of force expert named Emmanuel Capelson. He was an effective witness in the trial of St. Anthony police officer Geronimo Yanez, who was acquitted. The state wants to bring in a current Crystal police lieutenant and a former chief of police from Charlottesville, Virginia. The judge did not make a decision today on whether those witnesses will be able to take the stand. She says she will do that at some point before testimony gets underway. Once again, this trial begins here on Monday.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. We will, of course, follow any updates with the case leading up to the trial, and we will be in the courtroom on Monday.